I think the average Laker fan was pretty excited to get Luka Doncic, even at the expense of Anthony Davis, but at the same time, we all became pretty worried about their defense after that point. After all, Anthony Davis kind of was their defense. They would literally funnel guys toward him at the rim and hope you'd either block the shot, contest the shot, deter them away from the rim, or then even switch 1 through 5 for them on defense. Again, kind of the backbone of their defense. So after that point and not getting a great defender in return for him, we were all rightfully so worried about their defense. But apparently that was not really cause for concern. And with that in mind here, we're going to talk about what they have done, how they have arguably became better on defense, and how they have defended big guys like Nikola Jokic, Alperen Sengun, and Anthony Davis himself even better after trading AD away. But before we get too far into it, don't forget to check out G2A.com. They got your best new games like Monster Hunter Wilds, PC software, gaming gift cards, and much more. You can check them out in the video description down below. But now getting back to our topic, and like I mentioned, arguably, the Lakers defense become better without Anthony Davis. No, it doesn't really make sense and it shouldn't be that way, but it does happen to be true, which really comes down to a few things in my opinion. Number one, and simply put, better effort on defense of their team. Without Anthony Davis, they know that he's not behind them to really make up for them and kind of do everything for them, so that's translated to better team defense, better communication on defense, better switching on defense, obviously better buy-in on defense, and simply a better team defense in general. Again, it shouldn't be that way, but that's kind of what it took for them to finally commit on defense and play better consistent team defense too. I mean, not to take anything away from Jackson Hayes, the guy's been great for them and definitely a good replacement for them at center, but at the same time, they know that he's not Anthony Davis. He is not that elite rim protector, superhuman last line of defense, and great help protector that can make up for them on defense when they're not playing particularly hard on defense. And knowing that, they play better on defense, better commitment at the 3-point line, better team defense like I mentioned, and that's translated to a better overall defense for them in general. However, better commitment or simply more buy-in on defense alone would not or theoretically should not translate to defending guys like Nikola Jokic or Alperen Sengun better than they had been. And yet, that's exactly what they have done. After trading away Anthony Davis, they have become a whole lot better at matching up with those guys, and it theoretically doesn't really make sense, but it's been about a big adjustment they have made to their defense and one that's worked incredibly well for their team. I mean, in their past 3 healthy games against those 3, facing Nikola Jokic, Alperen Sengun, and then finally Anthony Davis last night, the Lakers have a combined defensive rating of 102.1. That's incredibly impressive, and especially against the caliber of guys like that. Not only those 3, but then the offense of the Denver Nuggets, the Houston Rockets, and the Dallas Mavericks, which only makes it even more impressive. And then on top of that, running through them individually and what they did against the Lakers, Nikola Jokic only putting up an abysmal 13 points on 2 of 7 from the field, absolutely terrible for him and definitely not up to his standard, not making a 3-point shot, 6 turnovers to only 10 assists, and again only 12 points, and that's a horrible game for him. Then on to Alperen Sengun, a little bit better but definitely still below his standard, having only 14 points, 5 of 11 from the field, 45%, 4 turnovers, 6 assists, and definitely not playing that well against them. And then finally for Anthony Davis last night, playing 33 minutes and only scoring 13 points on 38% from the field, 5 of 13, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 turnovers, and once again, not a good game for him or any of those 3 to begin with, even against a smaller team that they theoretically should be able and would be able to take advantage of. And yet, the Lakers contained them and really did well against them, even with a combination of Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, and Jared Vanderbilt playing at center for them. So with that in mind here, how do they do it and how have they become so good at defending players like that? Well, let's break down the game film. I mean, you might have seen it playing in the background already, and if you have been and kind of paying attention to it, it's really not that difficult to figure out in my opinion. No, it's not been from them playing one-on-one defense. They don't have Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron, Dorian Finney-Smith, or Rui Hachimura playing one-on-one defense against them. That would not be the right way to go about it and definitely would lead to them getting taken advantage of. But no, that's not what they have been doing. Rather, they have taken a team approach to it, doing a lot of blitzing against them. That's been the primary thing in my opinion. Double teaming them, having some really good double teams, especially in the high post, having some shadow coverage and different combinations against them, but again, the primary one being a blitz, and a very well-timed blitz at that. I mean, for example, facing Nikola Jokic, and that's kind of where it started for them. Anytime he would get the ball, and yes, they would let him get the ball, but after making his move and trying to make his move toward the rim, then they would bring a well-timed double team and blitz him, forcing him to give the ball up and then making their defense rotate, which they now have the ability to do with a much more quick, smaller lineup on the court. And take this play for example, back on February 22nd, at about the 3-minute 10-second mark of the second quarter, here we have LeBron defending Jokic, ideally not a great matchup and one that he theoretically should be able to take advantage of, and trying to back him down here, but after making his drop step, the second that he does that and tries to face the rim, here we have a double team or kind of triple team from Rui Hachimura and Luka Doncic. And the second that Nikola Jokic turns around, he finds two set of hands in front of him and tries to make a pass over them, which eventually leads to a turnover. Or then against Alperen Sengun, much the same thing and trying the same approach with him, which definitely did work out for their team. Here on this play for example, once again during the second quarter and with a tinier defender against them, Alperen Sengun posts up against Jordan Goodwin, a matchup that he definitely likes and would like to take advantage of if they wouldn't bring a double team behind him. And well, go figure, that's what they did. The second that Sengun made his move toward the rim, Rui Hachimura came over for a double team and forced Sengun to give the ball up, trying to make a pass around Rui Hachimura at the baseline and eventually ending up in a turnover here. And then finally against Anthony Davis, once again taking the same exact approach and once again working well for their team on defense. I talked about this on Twitter last night and pointed out what they did, even though some people were saying that AD played bad because he didn't get to touch the ball, or that the Mavericks couldn't get him the ball. Well, that's not exactly the case here. They got him the ball, but the second they touched it or tried to make his move toward the rim, then the Lakers double teamed him and forced him to give it up. Much like on this play during the second quarter, AD is posting up, Christie actually gets him the ball, two former Lakers here, defended by Dorian Finney-Smith, then after AD gets the ball, the second they tries to make his move toward the rim toward the baseline, once again, go figure, another Rui Hachimura double team, forcing AD to give the ball up, and with only about 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Not a good situation, but a very good defensive stand for the Lakers here, even with a small lineup against him. And well, I could show even more examples of it. Different stuff with them fronting them in the post, that's worked pretty well for them. They did a lot of that against Nikola Jokic, and especially with Jared Vanderbilt, who was also out there being a pest against Nikola Jokic and Alperen Sengun, picking up a flagrant foul against both of them, or rather them picking up a flagrant foul against Vanderbilt. They've done quite a bit of that and it's worked out pretty well for them. But at the end of the day here, their new defensive coverage and game plan against guys like that comes down to a lot of good timing on defense. Well-timed double teams, well-timed and well-positioned blitzes on the court, then good rotation on defense, covering up for spots that are then left wide open by the double team or blitz, and simply playing better team defense that's really hectic to play against for big guys like that. It really takes them out or not being able to get into a rhythm to begin with, not being able to get to the rim, or now though bulldozing through two different guys, and often when a big player tries to do that against smaller defenders, that doesn't work too well from a foul standpoint. Forcing them to give it up, then rotating well on defense, really causing mayhem and forcing their opponent into some late shot clock situations, that's the ideal kind of defense you want to play against them, and once again, it's worked out pretty well for them. Now I know there are going to be comments saying that it's only been 3 games, then I would much rather have a 7-footer defending them rather than their current defensive coverage, but at the end of the day here, I'm sticking with their current defensive game plan and what JJ Redick has drawn up for them. As from what they've shown so far, it's worked out pretty well for their team and definitely has improved their defense against players like that too. But with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How have you felt about the Lakers' adjustment on defense, and especially with defending guys like Nikola Jokic, Alperen Sengun, and Anthony Davis, guys that often play through the post and their respective teams play through them in the high post, and how the Lakers have unconventionally counteracted that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.